We're in the parks today, guys, to catch you up on what's going on around the Disneyland Resort. We're going to take a complete tour around the entire park. We're going to go to every land, every attraction. We're going to look at the crowds. We're going to look at the queues and talk about what's new at the Disneyland Resort. This is our State of Disney report.
Let's go to Disneyland, you guys. I'm excited. I'm happy because I have a good feeling that we're going to be able to tell a positive report today, and that makes me happy. Just like walking down those steps from the Disneyland Railroad train station. It's saying hi to Dale. Hi, Dale. Good morning. Oh, thanks. You didn't get to see that on camera, but that was cute. My little Dale moment. It is. There's a new vibe, a different feeling around the parks that I've noticed the last couple of days, in the last week or so. A lot more energy, a lot more positivity, a lot more, people really in the park. It feels like a switch went on, and people started showing up. We experienced something like this during the Halloween season, when the Halloween season officially started. That day, I felt like crowds, just increased dramatically. And we weren't getting that. I wasn't feeling a similar type of bump at Disneyland when the Christmas season started back on November 10th. Now, part of that is because they were already here. You're getting the crowds coming back to you from the Halloween season. But it did feel a little underwhelming in terms of the crowd levels. But then, as of about maybe 5 or 6 days ago, I have noticed an incredible increase in the amount of people here in the parks, and just the general vibe here. Just look. It is presently 11:21 in the afternoon on a Thursday. So nothing special about, the time of day that we're here. It's not a weekend or anything like that. People are still clinging to that idea that the weekends are a different animal than the weekdays, that it's less busy during the week than it is on the weekends, which I suppose in some cases could still be true. But Disney's done a fine job of leveling out the crowds, leveling out keeping the crowds busy, or the parks busy, at the same level for most days of the week. So this is just a random Thursday afternoon at Disneyland on Main Street, and I haven't felt this. This is a lot of people right now, guys. I don't know if it's coming through the lens or not, but I'm feeling it. This guy right here, I'm feeling that, and that makes me happy. It makes me happy because I feel like it's a sign that Disney and Disneyland guests are weathering the storm. And there's been a storm brewing, no doubt about it. We've talked about this constantly over the past year or two. But it gives me a lot of hope. It gives me a lot of positive feelings that things are going to be just fine here at Disneyland, in spite of all the issues that come up or have come up over the past year or two. I'm just going to go against the grain here real quick. Sometimes it's a little more obvious when you go into the crowd as opposed to with it. By the way, that's also beautiful. I'm enjoying that very, very much. Right? I mean, are you feeling that? Are you picking that up right now? And usually this is the point where I would sort of set the baseline for the narrative that's going to happen in this video, in this State of Disneyland report. What's it going to be like today? And will that narrative play out for the whole afternoon as we tour the park? I am very confident that it will, in fact, play out for the whole day. But let's find out. Let's turn around. Let's go back up Main Street, and we'll look at the reservation calendar that's happening right now. It is where I'm in a good mood. I'm in good spirits. But immediately, I turn that frown up, or that smile upside down. I don't like how the reservation calendar looks right now, but then again, I never do because I hate the reservation system. That's not a secret. But let's look at it just to say, wow, talk about maintaining the narrative. My plan was to come back upstairs to the train station to do my review of the reservation calendar. I'm not even sure up there. I have to get in the queue to the train station in order to do that, which I'm not going to because no. But that's, wow, man, look at people going on the train. Love to see it. I love people enjoying the train. One of my favorite things. Oh, look, there's a train right there.
Your attention, please. The Disneyland Limited now loading for a trip around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom through the Grand Canyon and primeval world. Stops at Frontierland, Mickey's Town, and Tomorrowland.
We'll look first at the single-day ticket calendar, which is slightly better than what we saw in our last report. All the days appear to be open for the rest of December, which is what I would normally expect. You can get a ticket for today. You can walk into the park today and get a ticket, although it looks to be just for a DCA start, but I mean, it's 11 o'clock already right now, so that's a park hopper at this point. Or I should say, you could get into either gate at this point. It'll tell you if the DCA start, but you could go to Disneyland. If you buy a park hopper, that is. But otherwise, wide open. The opposite is the case with the Inspire Key and Magic Keys. It is obliterated. The December calendar, there's nothing. You can't get any kind of reservation right now with any kind of key, not even an Inspire Key. Obviously, there's the 2-week blackout period coming up. That starts on the 20th and extends through the 2nd of January, the 2-week stretch. But you can't get a reservation today or for any day up until that time either. I'm going to look back on the report that we did this time last year. Hopefully we have something that looks like this and compare it, but I don't recall if that was similar or worse than what we experienced last year. Meanwhile, January, it's a little bit more open, but already the weekends are gone. The first 2 weekends are booked, as is the 14th, a Sunday. But the earliest weekend you can get right now is for January 20th for a reservation. That's kind of scary. That's kind of upsetting. I don't like that at all. Now, mind you, we said in the past many times, those dates do pop up. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a video on the nuances that are happening with the reservation calendar, and because those dates will open up. You check in the night before on any one of those dates that are sold out right now, and you could probably get one. They do flip, as they say, but they also lock those dates. Some of those dates are just locked. They're not allowing, even if, let's say, for example, a flip is when somebody cancels, and then you scoop up that canceled reservation. When it's locked, and this is a thing that does happen, when Disney locks it, even if somebody cancels, that date does not become available to guests. It stays closed. It stays marked as unreservable. I'm not sure how pervasive that tactic is today, although my feeling is that, yeah, it is. But I'm trying to decide if that's a major story or not, but it is something to be aware of. One last thing as we make our way back down Main Street and head into Adventureland to begin our land and attraction report. With respect to the reservation calendar for single-day tickets, I kind of touched on that just briefly because the calendar is wide open. But I noticed something. I mentioned this on Twitter, had a big, long investigation about this. I have no results. I'm not sure what the outcome really is or what it could be, but there is some strange behavior on the website if you use a desktop, where there are days that just have no icon, no result, it's null. You can't book it, but it's not blocked out.
And it changes as you change what you're purchasing. That is to say, a single-day ticket or a park hopper or a 3-day ticket. I find that very amusing and interesting. It's going to require further, research. Others have said this is something that's been happening for a long time, but it happens only on the desktop. If you use your phone, if you use mobile, the calendar looks the way it should, which is completely wide open. Just putting that out there. Just, food for thought. It's a thing. This is what I do. I look for things that should be observed that maybe, the casual guest may not notice. If you happen to have that situation come up, if you're trying to make a reservation, buy a ticket on the desktop, and you can't because the calendar looks like that, switch to mobile. That's the point I'm trying to make. Switch to mobile. Although I do think that there's some shenanigans there perhaps as well, but it would be weird if it was, that it's just the desktop and not mobile. I don't know. And that's the march down Main Street. They do that once a day. Very cool thing. I think it's at like 11:30 in the afternoon when that starts. Check it out if you have a chance. Let's go to Adventureland. So far as I would have guessed, I do feel pretty dense crowds right here. Not a slow day, busy day. Oh my. This is just getting more interesting. Oh my. Wow. I haven't yet looked at the tip board, so I have no idea, or how this is going to affect wait times, I was going to say, but I'm having a difficult time just wading through this already. We're just getting started. There's the Jungle Cruise. Top deck is full, as I would have expected, although I'm surprised to see that the rear top deck is not full. And well, look at this. $30 is not too bad. Not a bad start. I'd wait in a 30-minute queue for Jungle Cruise. I'd wait in this for sure. Typically, it's less than the posted wait time, typically. Big news, Indiana Jones is open 50 minutes. That's kind of standard. Even for a slow day, you can expect a 50-minute wait for Indiana Jones Adventure. But still, man, there's a lot of guests right here. Okay, let's go kind of just peek in real quick. The back of the queue is poking out here. That's not a good sign. I would imagine when we look at this wait time a little later, when we look at the tip board, let's say when we're getting a treat in Galaxy's Edge, that 50 will be closer to 60 or 70 because this queue is a full. Wow. That ain't 50. In my opinion, that ain't 50. I mean, I guess it could be. I don't see a lot of action in the Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane queue. That's a lot of people for just 50 minutes, just. For some people, I feel like the locals, the level that they're willing to tolerate is 45. And even some, it's less than that. Even for some, it's like 30 minutes. Part of that is because there's so many things to do here, including things that aren't attractions, aren't rides at all. There's so many things to do here that can, occupy your time that you don't need to wait more than 30 minutes for anything. And so there are locals who don't ride rides like Indiana Jones ever. Adventureland Treehouse looks to be running as it should. My goodness. Okay, never mind the treehouse, just look. Wow, okay, so the wheels turning, the buckets are moving, things look good here. And the treehouse has got quite a few guests milling through it. Traffic going up the tree. I like to see that. I do like to see that. But this, man, oh man. Whew. I like to see that too. I like to see that. Oh, I'm getting curious now. I'm really curious. I'm so curious to see what it's going to be like at Pirates. That's another baseline, because Pirates is never busy, ever. But if you see something over 30, then that's a day. Boom. Did I just call it? Did I just call it, or what? 35 minutes. I don't know if you can see that because it's really bright out. 35 minutes, and the switchback is actually beyond the normal. Look at that. Hi guys. Hi. Normally you see just those 2 lanes right there, but they've got it sticking out over here as well. Obviously the bridge. Hi.
Up here.
I don't know who said that.
Up here.
Oh, there you are. Hi guys. Hello. Hey guys. How are you? And then you got this down here. My goodness. Woo. Go get it, Disneyland. Go get it. Pirates of the Caribbean. I love it. Wow, it's busy. It is busy. Welcome back, people of Disneyland. Welcome back to the parks. I hope you stick around in January. I would love to see you guys in January. It's about lunchtime. It's exactly noon. 12:02, not exactly. Tiana's Palace, there's no queue. Kind of shocking. Do you guys want to go in there? I think I do. While I do, I'm going to check on the mobile order. It's difficult, even though there's no queue. That was a little difficult to get through here. Okay, looks kind of busy in here, but this will take no time at all. Very quick service in here. If you see this queue, it looks busier than it normally might. That's still nothing. And you can use both sides. I noticed I'm seeing a bunch of people on the left, not so many on the right. Both sides are the same. They offer the same food. Let's see what the wait time is for Tiana's Palace. Oh, 117 minutes from now. That's in 2 hours. So if you mobile it now. So this is one of those cases. Y'all heard me just wax on and on and on about how you should be mobile ordering. This is one of those spots where you should not. Do not mobile order right now. You're gonna wait 2 hours for that mobile. This queue is not even 5 minutes. So just walk right in. There you go. Best of luck finding a table though. Good luck to you. They increased the number of tables available. All these right here are all new. All these tables, we never really got into this, did we? But all these tables out here along this rail were added. But it doesn't seem to have helped very much. Good luck getting a table at Tiana's Palace at noon. Wow. Okay, I'm a little nervous now going through Royal Street. And I think I might have been correct in that fear. I am also going against the grain. Wow. Okay. Blue Bayou is going to be closing for a refurb in January. Stay tuned for a conversation about that on our next construction report.
Look at the stars,
Wow, this is a first. Ever since they've opened up Tiana's Palace, reopened it, and the Mint Julep Bar, I have yet to see the queue extend beyond the queue that they built. This is, a hard-coated queue, as it were. This used to be just ropes, but they built a proper queue and proper switchbacks and everything in there to withstand the demand. This is the first time since it's reopened that I've seen the queue stick out here into the walkway, which is not ideal. It's bad. I mean, it's not as bad as it running back that way. I think I prefer this, running it along this brick wall. But that is not good, Bob. Not great. Oh, here we go. More pleasure for me. Seeing people enjoying the Disneyland Railroad. Thank you very much, everybody. That's how you go to Disneyland. Now, speaking of things in the news, we've arrived at the Haunted Mansion, which is currently in its Haunted Mansion holiday form, the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. Typically this runs from the beginning of the holiday season, August whatever, or September 1st this year I believe, and then it runs through January, or I should say through December and into January for the Christmas season. By the way, it says 45 minutes. I don't know, man. They got the queue running out here. Although they're not using the fountain portion, which that could definitely increase your wait time. But that's debatable about whether or not that's still just 45 minutes. But getting back to that story, you may have seen our report. We did this on Fresh Baked Presents. That's the channel, our sister channel that we've had for years and years and years, where I'm doing, hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Where we're currently doing our At the Desk news reports. And we talked about the news that Haunted Mansion, we know that it's going to be getting a new queue. We've seen that report, heard that report. They're updating the exterior queue in the Haunted Mansion proper, but they're also updating that fountain area. They're going to extend the queue out into there. If you haven't seen, we did a video, talking about that a few months ago. Watch that if you want to get caught up on that. But we were wondering when that might take place and how long it would take and how it'll affect the attraction. Well, it sounds like it's going to affect it a lot. It sounds like they're going to close it in January. They're going to start right away. As soon as the holiday season is over, they're going to close this attraction and start working on the queue, and it's going to stay closed. I believe it's going to stay closed for the entire 7 months. It's going to stay closed until August when they reopen it for the holiday season. We already know Disney has announced the beginning of the Halloween season for, I think, a week early, like I want to say August 23rd. Now, they didn't actually say in that announcement that the Haunted Mansion would be back at that point, but my assumption is that it will be. So I don't think, best case scenario is that if you do get to ride Haunted Mansion in between January and August, it'll be the Haunted Mansion holiday. We will not be seeing the original Haunted Mansion at all in 2024 at all. It's either going to be closed or Haunted Mansion holiday, and then Haunted Mansion original will be reopen again, finally, in January of 2025. All of this while Tiana's Bayou Adventure, formerly known as Splash Mountain, will also be closed. Just try to process that for a second. This has been closed for a little while now. We're kind of gotten used to that. Guys are busy at work here as we speak, trying to reshape this mountain into something that is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. For possibly 7 months, both of these attractions will be down. This whole section will be vacant. No attractions. How do you overcome that? Like, what can you do to compensate for that? And I don't even mean price. That's not going to happen. They're not going to lower the price because 2 major attractions are down. But how do you compensate for that in terms of distributing guests to other attractions? How do you get more show? I mean, that's a serious problem. And it goes towards how necessary. I mentioned that in the news video. That means that whatever they're doing to the Haunted Mansion queue is very, very necessary, unavoidable, has to be done, because there's no justifiable way that I could think of that Disney would do that intentionally. They would choose to close both Splash Mountain and Haunted Mansion for 7 months. No way on this earth is that a realistic thing. So they must have to. They're forced to. But in any case, now that that's a thing, what can you do? Where do you put those guests? How do you offer more show to compensate for that? Can you? Meanwhile, they are definitely hard at work today. There's a whole thing of dust coming out over here or something. I don't know what, man. But they busy in there. They are definitely busy in there. Let's go into Critter Country. Never a bad time to ride Winnie the Pooh in the 100 Acre Wood. 20-minute standby, it's posted. The day that this attraction is ever 20 minutes for real, I will dive into Pooh Stick River. Swim with the sticks. I mean, they've extended it, but it's still not 20 minutes. It's still 10 or 15 tops. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Look at, it's happening. It's happening. I didn't get to report this on our last construction. This has happened since Monday. They've got it behind scrim. I've got to put this on the Twitters right now. All right, Twitter has been advised. This is a major deal. It's a major development because it means they're actually, we should be looking for a new paint job on this thing soon because you can see they're scraping the facade right there. We'll get into that in the construction report. Let's continue our State of Disneyland report. Busy day here in Critter Country to meet Santa Claus. He's not present at the moment, but there's a lot of folks there getting ready. God, did you hear that? Oh, there's a guy right there. He's just whooping and hollering. Yeah, look at that. He's taking out the parts. Those wooden, I don't know what they call those, but like this, like slats, he was separating that from the facade. He's stripping that off. Interesting. Okay, I was about ready to leave Critter Country. I'm like, God, I'd love to ride Winnie the Pooh right now. I would love, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take a quick interlude from our State of Disneyland report to enjoy the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And we'll even see how long this wait is, if it's anywhere near 20 minutes. Well, okay, I'm gonna get the ride Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That was amazing, you guys. That was great. I took a shot. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get that queue. And as soon as I did, she's like, "You single rider?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a route pass. I got a route pass." It's just like the buddy pass at Monsters Inc. I didn't know. I had no idea that they do that here at Winnie the Pooh. Oh yeah. I'm glad that they do because this is the kind of attraction you need it. So we're gonna take my route pass, go up the exit, over Pooh Sticks Bridge, which I will not have to swim in today because this will not be a 20-minute wait. And I guess right here with these guys, yeah, the bunch. Oh, this is new. This is new, I think, because I've never seen guests accumulating here before. Way to go, Disney. I love it. Way to go. Because, I mean, why not? It doesn't cost any of those people in standby. It keeps me out of the standby queue. It doesn't cost them any space at all because I'm using space that would likely have gone empty.
I want to go quickly take those seats.
Thank you, guys.
Party pool. Happy birthday.
Like my present, I'll take it back. Kids just love giving presents.
So I confirmed that is something that they have done in the past. This isn't brand new. They've done it in the past, but they haven't been doing it at all very recently. But it is something that they've brought back recently, trying it out. I'm not sure if it's a full-time thing. I don't know if you can do it always. My assumption that was Monsters Inc. you could do it at any time. Hey, all right. Thank you. I thought, because I asked her, they do that at Monsters always, right? She goes, no, there are some times. It's certainly more frequent than here at Winnie the Pooh, but there are times when they're not doing Buddy Pass at Monsters. But yeah, that's awesome. If you're single rider only, well, I should say single guest only. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not sure how they work that out. I'm gonna have to do a little more research on that because well, she asked if I was single. That has to be that. Whatever. It's great. I got to ride Winnie the Pooh just now where I thought I wouldn't. So good for you, Disney. Thank you. I usually like to shoot the canoe right at this point on the River of America because it's a very chill transition into Galaxy's Edge, but there is a passenger on that canoe right now who is unwitting. He does not want to be on that canoe right now. But it sounds like he is acclimated, so we can get into the chill part of this segment. A little more chill back here in Galaxy's Edge than it is out there in the rest of the park. Maybe, you know what? It looks closed. I was just gonna say, where's the queue? Where's the crowd? I can't find the back of the queue. But it looks closed. It's so interesting how Galaxy's Edge is just a completely different ecosystem. Hey guys, how are you? Than the rest of the park. What's happening in Galaxy's Edge hardly ever is reflective of what's happening in the rest of the park, or vice versa. You can see super busy days out in the park, but in here it's still very chill. It's just so sequestered and separate from the rest of the park, and it changes the mood immediately. And there you go, confirmed. Rise is closed, so we can't do a test of the... Hi guys, how are you? Can't do a test of the wait time there. But what we can do is go to the marketplace, get a Tatooine sunset and some lunch, I think, today, because I have not yet had lunch. So we'll go to Docking Bay 7, get some lunch there. Maybe the kefta again. I can't stop eating the kefta. And take a look at the tip board.
All right, let's get into this tip board. Start at the top with Alice in Wonderland. I'm always impressed by how much business Alice draws. That's a very underrated, underappreciated attraction. At 40 minutes, Autopia's 40. That's a healthy wait, guys. It's a busy day when Autopia's 40. Return time in an hour. Big Thunder is over an hour, 65 minutes, and a return time of just an hour for Genie Plus. So far, what I'm seeing is that people are not buying Genie Plus as much as Disney would like. But 65 minutes standby, that's impressive. Buzz is 15, that won't last. By the time we get there, it'll be higher than 15. I promise people are going to react to that. And they'll start showing up in the Buzz queue. We'll walk by there later, it'll be 30, 40 minutes. Casey Jr. 15. Chippendale 30. Standard. Do you guys see that auto refresh? It's happening quicker now. I don't know if it used to do this before. It's auto refreshing. I don't have to do the pull down refresh. See that? It's doing it by itself now. Dumbo, 35 minutes. Go get it, Dumbo. Wow, that's a pretty long wait. Meanwhile, Nemo is just 20. See, some of these things are just so that there's no consistency here. Haunted Mansion, when we walked by, what did we see? It was 45, and I said there's no way that's 45. And it seems to be catching up. I also predicted that Indiana Jones would go up. We'll get there in a second. Oh, there it is. It went down. Excuse me. Here I thought we'd see that at 60 or 65 minutes by the time we sat down, but it's actually gone down by, 5 or 10 minutes? I don't remember if it was 50 or 55. 5.5 hours return time, though, for that Genie Plus. Small World Holiday, 45. I wouldn't wait 45 for a daytime ride, just saying. I'd wait 45 for a nighttime ride. It's small. Oh, that's the show. Jungle Cruise 30, that's right where we left it. Carousel 15, Mad Tea Party 10, that's one rotation. Winnie the Pooh, we just left it at 20. It's got up to 25. Matterhorn at 50. But look at this again. Very little wait for a Genie Plus for a Lightning Lane. Just an hour from now. Runaway Railway is just 30 minutes. Good for you. That is just the most impressive attraction when it comes to processing guests. Impressive. Return time of 3 hours from now. So people are choosing it. They're using Lightning Lane or Genie Plus, but it's not affecting standby very much. That's terrific. Love to see it. Millennium Falcon 45. We're going to look over there in just a second, but again, return time of less than an hour. And standby at 45. We walked onto that attraction the other night. We did a video for our acoustic channel. A last 2 hours of the night walkthrough of the park, and we walked right on the Falcon. It's the Smuggler's Run. We went straight to Hondo's room. It was great. Mr. Toad's 20 minutes. Peter Pan 30. That's light. I feel like we get this every time. Every time we do this, we see Peter at 30, then I walk by and it's not. Pinocchio 15. Pirates 35. Look at you go. Roger Rabbit. Age-old question. Hour standby. Return time of just an hour and a half. People are choosing Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway for Lightning Lane, but the standby. This could just be. You know, we'll talk about that when we get to Toontown. Save that thought. 75 minutes for Space Mountain. Spot on. Man, a 3-hour return time. That's pretty busy. Star Tours. Oh my God. Wow, Star Tours is almost an hour. That's crazy. Yeah, use your Fast Pass for that right now. Definitely. Looks like Rise is still closed, so we can't comment on that. Storybook Land 15, and there you go.
Cheers, Fresh Bake. Good as always. And so too will be our kefta, our lamb kefta, impossible kefta, with hummus, etc. My favorite meal in the park. As promised, next stop will be Smuggler's Run to see how much that is being affected by the crowds today. My prediction is probably it's going to be just like we saw on the tip board, as it should. But definitely, look at this though. How many times have we been through here recently where there's not near as many guests out here just milling out about in the common area? It's been just almost vacant. So this is a good sign. 45 minutes is the standby, and it looks to be all of that. I can see guests in the windows up there just sort of parked. People are going to say, David, obviously the parks are going to be busier right now because holidays, etc., yada yada, kids are out of school, this and that. Perhaps. But I've got a lot of, Christmases under my belt. And it has been my experience in the past that the progression of crowds from Halloween, or I should say the beginning of the Halloween season, all the way through to Christmas Day and New Year's Eve is gradual. It grows and grows and grows. It doesn't go up and down. Hold on.
I'm watching you.
We did a whole video about Kylo Ren today, about how they changed his character for Rise of Skywalker on Fresh Baked Presents.
Aren't you clever?
As I was saying, it's a gradual progression. It gets busier and busier and busier as the seasons go on. What you don't see is people just showing up and then disappearing and then showing up again. Like a switch. People just showed up between, I want to say, maybe the 1st of December, maybe a couple days after that. Oh, I thought he was right behind me. Maybe like the first couple of days of December onward. It's just been different. And my theory is that Disney is allowing more reservations. They're making more reservations available for Magic Key holders. However, Kylo Ren again. However, that seems to be not working right now.
Clear the way.
Oh, sorry.
I need it. Clear the way.
Sounds a lot like it. You're looking at the calendar that we saw today. They're not making any more room for us. So who knows? It's hard to say. It's impossible to know. The lack of transparency on that is also very, very frustrating. I just wish there was some way that we could just know. The way to solve that transparency issue is to just not have a reservation system. By the way, I want to say while we're on our way to Fantasyland, I put a post up on Twitter the other day talking about expanding this particular program, this series. State of Disneyland report, State of DCA report. We do those once a month, or have been, for a while now. Do State of DCA on the 1st of the month, State of Disneyland on the 15th. I asked if it would be worthwhile to do them every week instead of every month. A lot of people were down for that. I love doing these reports. I'll never get sick of them. This is probably my favorite video of all the videos that I do. These State of Disneyland reports are my favorite because it's something that's very important to me. I'm passionate about. I love talking about the state of things in the parks. It means a lot to me to do these, and it gets me excited. So I want to do more of them. But I think what we're going to do, at the outset at least, is do these every 2 weeks now. Every 2 weeks. So expect another one of these in 2 weeks. And expect DCA to do the same every 2 weeks. Those aren't quite as popular, obviously, at Disneyland. Putting that out there. Comment if you want to, if you have a preference on that. I wouldn't mind hearing from you guys on that. But just an FYI. Meanwhile, Fantasyland, kind of busy. I didn't have any difficulty walking through. We just passed through a pinch point. But it wasn't that crowded right there as we walked by. But this is quite a few people right here. Very dense in this part of Fantasyland right now. Seen worse though. Pinocchio, that's looking like 15-20 minutes right there. Man, I love the energy of Fantasyland. I just love it. I need to do another Fantasyland video. Maybe something for our acoustic channel.
Yeah, they're waiting in line.
Snow White says 25, but it's not that. That's actually a light queue for Snow White for this time of day. Often, right about now, you should be seeing all these switchbacks full out here. It even come out here into the main walkway. Peter Pan said 30. There's no way. That's not 30. If that's 30 minutes, I'm the King of England. 30 minutes from that point. But you got a few more guests down that way. There's no way. I want to be young again, be excited to sit in Mr. Toad's vehicle and get a picture taken. Toad's looks about standard. It's actually busier than Snow White, I would bet. Casey Jr., they were reporting 15. That's 15 if they're running 2 trains. I'm going to assume they are. Dumbo. Remember when we saw Dumbo was 35? Dumbo is one of the most excruciating queues to wait. Man, it is just a grind. I say this often, but you got to be committed. You got to be ready and prepared to wait in the Dumbo queue. Even if it's a short wait, it's still a grind because there's so much stopping and starting. Tea Party said 10 minutes. That is not 10 minutes. That is 20 or more. 10 minutes would be 1 rotation. I'm seeing probably at least 3 rotations there. So you're looking at, probably 20 minutes. So that's not accurate either. Just puts a smile on your face. Hearing that music. Approaching Small World. I wish it was dark and we could see the lights right now. I wish. Like I said, I would get in a 45-minute queue, no problem. If I knew that I was going to get, the Christmas lights and all that, you can see it all. But right now, it's, it's like 75 out here. So you get the music, but you're not getting any lights. You don't get any Christmas until you actually get into the attraction. It's a value proposition. That music. People don't like the Small World song. But I'm here to tell you, that's Disneyland, baby. that is Disneyland. I don't care. I think it's great. It's the definition of. That's not 45 minutes. Unless Lightning Lane is a beast, which it's not. There is some. 45 minutes would be if all of this was full. You're looking at 30 there probably. Hey, how are you? But these switchbacks right here in particular are a grind. Those are the longest ones. So when you get stuck in that queue, you know you're going to be waiting. That would be 45. But I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't tell if it's 8 or 9. I can't tell. But figure, you know, maybe 4 minutes each. It does vary. It depends entirely on how busy Lightning Lane is. But absent Lightning Lane influence, those switchbacks would be 3 or 4 minutes. So we'll just call it 4 and allow for Lightning Lane. 4 times 8, 32. Still no let up in the crowds as we get near to the end of our day, our report. It's just been kind of relentless. But it's still not super ultra busy. It's manageable. This is definitely a manageable day. It's more crowds than it is a problem with the wait times, with the queues. They're not too bad. I mean, there were a couple that they're higher than you'd like them to be, but mostly the difficulty that we're noticing in the parks is just in getting around. It's, you know, navigating all the people. But like, you know, Runaway Railway, 30 minutes as we approach. Done. Easy. I will. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. We're still kind of far away, but I just watched a whole sea of guests go into the Lightning Lane queue and nothing into standby. There we go, standby. Look at that, you guys, seriously. Let me go in there. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I can see it from a distance. A little easier for me. It says 40 minutes now, by the way, but it's not. It's not 40 minutes. 40 minutes is the door. There's the back of the queue, just before you get into the memorabilia room. Incredible performance by Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Every day I look at this again and again. I say this is the most astounding feat in Imagineering ever. The way that they built that attraction, the way you can cycle guests, is just undefeated. Pirates? Pirates doesn't have to go up against Lightning Lane. You want to talk? This I was mentioning this when we were looking at the tip board. You want to talk about the difference between, you know, how a ride is built for crowds and how one that isn't. Roger Rabbit, we've talked about this. Well, actually, that says 30 minutes now. Wow, what happened? That went up to 40, and that went down to 30. That's Lightning Lane, obviously. But this can't process near as many guests, not probably by half or a third maybe, as Runaway Railway can. So it makes it look like it's the more popular attraction because it's always got a longer wait time. But you know, today when we were looking at the tip board, it was when I saw that the return time was 3 hours from now versus an hour for Roger Rabbit. That's all you need to know. In spite of the fact people choosing Runaway Railway, it's still being able to handle that. It can handle those guests like no other attraction ever. It's just magnificent. This place opened up in March, Toontown did. And ever since then I've been waiting for it to like die down. I've been waiting for it to really like, okay, now it's like a regular land. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. It's certainly less congested as we've seen, you know, when the land first opened, a couple months, you know, in that period. But it's still very, very crowded, very busy in here. Mostly that's because you've got, what, 1, 2, 3 attractions, 3 proper attractions, plus Mickey and Minnie's house, plus Goofy's house and Donald's boat and all that. You've got so much to do here, and the amount of space, what, half of Tomorrowland? I don't know, I'd have to look it up and do a Google Maps situation there, but I'm gonna bet half. There's a lot to do in here, in just a tiny little space. It's pretty amazing, and it always feels good to be here, even when it's crowded. That's that music. I'm telling you, I feel like I say this all the time, every time I'm in there, and I'll say it again in 2 more weeks when we do our next State of Disneyland report. but I love the music here. It's great. It's great. It's probably still number 2 in terms of my favorite loops. Because I think the Tomorrowland loop I still prefer better. But they're both amazing. I love them both. There's so many people here and so much to do. When I bring Sophia here, she never wants to leave. Ever. I don't know why, but lately I've been watching the turkey leg queue when I walk by Edelweiss. I saw a queue look just like that at 10:30 in the morning the other day. It was amazing. 50 minutes for the Matterhorn. I want to do a quick drive-by, single rider. Not a lot of Lightning Lane guests right now, but single rider doesn't look too bad either. There's maybe like 10 folks in that queue right now. That's not bad. Definitely do that if you want to ride Matterhorn right now. Because at 50 minutes, you've got yourself a bit of a slog. Luckily, they had the 2 tracks here, but man, that's a lot of folks to process while also competing with Lightning Lane. Wow, wow, wow. But you know what? Good for these guests. Good for them. And good for the Matterhorn. I'm very proud of the Matterhorn. I say this often as well. Very proud of you. That attraction is like 50 years old. And it's still pulling guests like any other fancy new age roller coaster out there, as much or more. You will often see a standby wait time that competes with Rise of the Resistance and Indiana Jones here at the Matterhorn. It's just that good. So close. I got the monorail, but we just missed the Nemo sub. He's just going underneath the waterfall right there. I mean, or I would have taken one of these, but it's best when you can catch the monorail as the sub is entering the waterfall. It's a game I play, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. That game, catching the monorail while you're on the Disneyland Railroad at the point where the guy says, if you look ahead, you just might spot the monorail. We did it. Like a second off, but we did it. In the video, the 5 things that define Disneyland. I was on the train, and like a second or two after he said, if you look ahead or if you look above, there goes the monorail. It was fantastic. Great moment. Tipboard said 20 minutes for Nemo. Good luck with that. No chance that's 20 minutes. That's 40. And a slow 40 as well. This like Dumbo. It's just the worst attraction when it comes to, you know, just standing there and waiting because it takes forever to get people in and out of those boats. It says 30 on the board. I don't believe that either. It is up from the 20. But even I don't believe 30 even. I've seen in the past, this part of Tomorrowland is often kind of light. This is not a place where you get a lot of traffic typically in Tomorrowland. But that was, you know, it's busy, guys. It's here. And the question is, what does that mean? That's what I try to, you know, process every single time I come to the park. The personality, as somebody asked, you know, on Twitter, they said, well, is there really that much news to talk about where you could do a report every week or two? No, there's not enough news. But the park's personality changes constantly, and it's a constant. Like I'm trying to figure out, you know, is it happening or isn't it? Like what is happening? 15 minutes or 35 minutes. I'm sorry. I don't think I would wait 35 minutes for Autopia, but I don't think it is. That standby up there, that's not a lot of guests up there in those switchbacks, but it does look like they are using the turnaround up here. So that's probably 5 or 10 minutes in there. Well, that could be 35. Wow. Back into Tomorrowland, it does look again more busy than usual as of late. I don't hear the music. Where's the music? I'm waiting. Or am I deaf? What's going on? All right, well, never mind that. We're gonna go to Space Mountain. Let's do something fun. I'll take you guys on a little journey. 45 minutes is posted. We talked about in that last video we did about the 5 attractions that define Disneyland. Space Mountain is one of those. Watch that video if you just want to feel good about Disneyland. That was the whole point of my making that video, by the way. I mean, yeah, we're going to talk about the things that make Disneyland what it is, but really, it was an opportunity for me to express my love for this place, to express myself and the things that I love about it and why. Space Mountain is one of those attractions, and we're going to go take a look at something that I feel like doesn't get a lot of attention, a lot of love. That I mentioned in that video that I love the ceremony of walking up this ramp, you know, and those ramps as well, which we'll get into in a second. Like this right here, just even though I know it's not like the original incarnation of the queue, this feels very retro and old school to me. This walk up, sort of the long and winding path that you have to take in order to get into the proper build, you know. Whoa, that, you know, the wait time said 45 minutes. That's going to change. By the time we get out of here, that's going to go up because that's a lot of folks standing in Lightning Lane. They're not moving either. Oh, you don't want to see that. You get up here, you guys, you get up here and you see that. You see a posted wait time of 45 minutes and you see that. There's stairs right over here. There's stairs. You can ninja yourself out of this queue. You are not at all. It feels like you're committed. It feels like there's no turning back. But that's why they installed these stairs as an escape route. Right there. That's how when I'm done doing this shot, that's where I'm going to go. Is take those stairs right there. So right here. Instead of going in that room right there. You know what? Before we do, I'm going to poke my head in there. Yeah. Now that's gonna fill up into here in no time. That's a big queue. That is more than 45 minutes. But hi guys, how are you? But right here, like these guys are doing, there's a little, you can just walk right through here and go down these stairs. But this is what I came up here for. I feel like we don't participate and enjoy this view as often as we should. It's actually a little bit better if I come around here a little bit. I'm not in the standby queue proper, so I can do this. Oh, that's not quite as good because you got this whole mess. Let's try it over here. But this is why I'm up here right now, is just to participate, just to take in this view of Tomorrowland. I love watching, being able to see so much of this land, you know, available to you, the vista that it creates here, and you know, you get to look at the Innovations building and the ramp. God, it's old school. The people mover queue up there, and the track to the people mover. Watching the guests go by out here, get an idea of, you know, just the activity that's happening. You got a little view of the Starcade while you're at it. This right here, this where we're at is legendary. It's iconic in the park's landscape. But obviously, people don't do it because they get in here. And they just want to get into Space Mountain, you know. It's like you just want to get into it. By the way, I've seen a lot of people bail. I've watched bail. A lot of folks are bailing out of that queue right now because it's not moving. It's not moving because of that. If you see those guys standing, if they're standing, oh, man, this is why you watch this show. It's for intel like this. If that group right there is standing like that and they're not moving, that means the thing is full. And as long as those guests are standing, they're definitely not going to move. Now, they'll move eventually, but they're not for a while. They're parked. Those guys might as well get a pillow. They're not going anywhere. These are those stairs. Let's finish our journey. Well, that's a little better. Just now, I'm like, okay, that feels a little lighter than we've been. This is the first break that I have felt since we crossed the threshold into the park. right here. And normally this is a huge congestion point. That's interesting. Okay, we saw Buzz Lightyear at 15 minutes, and I said there's no way it'll be 15 when we get there, because people will see that and head over there, but I don't see any standby at all. But, okay, now what the? That says 45 minutes. One of these things is not like the other. That's 45, there's nobody in Lightning Lane, nobody in standby. There's something wrong here. Something is not correct. There's no way that I can evaluate this. It's impossible. There's no standby. There's no Lightning Lane. There are people using their Lightning Lane. Total mystery. Meanwhile, across the way, Star Tours is 45. Also not correct. They just closed the doors just now. As I was turning around, I watched them close those doors. That's the whole queue right there. So that's 20 or 25 minutes probably. What happened? Oh, you know what it is? It's the parade. It's 2:15 right now. So people are starting to leave the park proper, the general, population, the rest of the park, and they're starting to take their positions on the parade route. We're going to catch that 3:30 Christmas parade. That's what that is. But we're not. We're going to cut through the hub right here. Give a nod to the back side of Walt. We can't get through the front side, so we'll have to give a nod to the back side of Walt and Mickey. Still pretty good. And conclude our show, as always, in Frontierland. When we looked at the tip board, it was showing 60, was it 45 or 65? 45. I'm pretty sure it said 45 for Big Thunder, which is a healthy weight, but not terrible. Oh boy, look at that scene right there. Wowsy wowsy. Whew. It actually went down to 40, which again, this would be, a parade factor, I think, is what's going to happen here. I mean, it still is backed up quite a bit back there. It still is going to be 40 probably, but you're going to see fewer and fewer people get into this queue in the next 10, 15, 30 hour, while people gravitate towards the parade route. Speaking of the parade, an hour before is usually, lately anyway, in modern post-COVID times, an hour before the parade is usually plenty of time to get a desired seat. You don't have to get there. You don't have to post up at, 2 hours or something like that before the parade. It used to be like that. If you wanted a spot on Main Street, yeah, you had to commit yourself very early. But that's not really the case anymore these days, it seems like. But there is your standby queue. Very dense. Oh, look at that. You can actually see. I don't know if you can or not, but I can. I can see the back of the Lightning Lane queue. That is bad. That is actually really bad if you're getting into Big Thunder, because they mix Lightning Lane way up in the, right where the line splits in two before you go up the stairs. That's where they mix. So that means it's a lot of folks getting into that Lightning Lane queue right now. Man, oh man, look at that. So, final analysis. Busy park right now. I feel like it's gonna be like this, not just up until the 20th, when Magic Keys are blocked out. I think it's going to continue through Christmas and after Christmas. You'll recall, we made, I think it was at least one, maybe two visits to Disneyland last year during the blockout period, and we were able to witness, the effect, and it was none. There was no effect. It was very busy the first day we spent here during the blockout period. There were no Magic Keys present. Everybody in that park had paid their way in, single day ticket, and I expect that to be the case this year as well. I don't see why not. I mean, I suppose I suppose it's possible the park is a little less busy than it was last year. I do think that there's a percentage of guests who have more and more people are developing a reason not to go to Disneyland than in the past, and I feel like that situation, that mindset is going to start creeping up on Disney pretty soon. But this year, I don't think we're all the way there yet. Maybe next year, I don't know. That's a topic for a different video. Like, when does Disney start to correct? I feel like that should be happening now. If they don't want to lose those guests forever, they need to be making changes now. But I have to say, at the outset, that all in all, what we're seeing today in the parks is very positive. I'm encouraged by people's response to going to Disneyland right now. I'm grateful that there's enough people out there who are expressing their love and desire and passion for Disneyland. I think that's great, and I don't ever want to see that end. I can still disagree with some of the things that Disney's done in the parks, and I can still, rail against that and howl at the moon, shake my fist, yell at some clouds, chase some windmills. but at the end of the day, I'm still coming to the park. I don't care. You could call me a hypocrite or whatever, like speak with your wallet, that kind of thing. I don't care. Go ahead. I love Disneyland. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. If you'd like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon and campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.